Hello, welcome to West Grove. We know that when two or more are gathered in his name, he is with us. And while you may be sitting alone, you are with us. He is here. We encourage you to set up a little worship area in your home as you watch our video. We have a cross and candles, Bible and hymn book, something just to help bring you into the idea of being in a sacred space. We welcome you to our service, and we hope you get a lot out of it.
Good morning,
Good morning.
good afternoon, or good evening. I am welcoming you to this time of worship, a time of prayers, music, and God's word. In this uncertain time, we have decided that we will care for one another by gathering this way. In the presence of God, who is empowering us to love one another no matter where we are, we pause by opening our heart to the Holy Spirit. Please join me in opening prayer. Almighty and everlasting God, in whom we live and move to have our being, you created us for yourself, so that our hearts are restless until they find the rest in you. Grant us such piety of heart and strength of purpose that no selfish passion may hinder us from knowing your will, and no weakness from doing it. In your light, may we see life clearly, and in your service find the perfect freedom through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Lean on, O King eternal, the
Good morning. I'll be reading John chapter 9, verses 1 through 18. Jesus heals a man born blind. As he went along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" "Neither this man nor his parents sinned," said Jesus, "but this happened so that the work of God might be displayed in his life. As long as it is day, we must do the work of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can do work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." Having said this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with the saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. "Go," he told him, "wash in the pool of Siloam." This word means sent. So the man went and washed and came home seeing. His neighbors and those who had formerly seen him begging asked, "Isn't this the same man who used to sit and beg?" Some claimed that he was. Others said, "No, he only looks like him." But he himself insisted, "I am the man." "Well, how then were your eyes open?" they demanded. He replied, "The man they called Jesus made some mud and put it on my eyes. He told me to go to Siloam and wash. So I went and washed, and then I could see." "Where is this man?" they asked him. "I don't know," he said. They brought to the Pharisees the man who had been blind. Now the day on which Jesus had made the mud and opened the man's eyes was a Sabbath. Therefore, the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. "He put mud on my eyes," the man replied, "and I washed, and now I see." Some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, for he does not keep the Sabbath." But others asked, "How can a sinner do such miraculous signs?" So they were divided. Finally, they turned again to the blind man. "What do you have to say about him? It was your eyes he opened." The man replied, "He is a prophet." The Jews still did not believe that he had been blind and had received his sight until they sent for the man's parents. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
This morning, this afternoon, or this evening, we continue to reflect on another story of Jesus' ministry through the lens of John's Gospel. Let us first have a glimpse of the basic picture of today's story. In chapter 8, Jesus is teaching in the temple, and the Jews take out the stones to kill him. Jesus hides himself and goes out of the temple. But in passing out of the temple area, he sees a man who has been born blind and then stops. Think about the circumstances that Jesus faces, fleeing from his enemies who are trying to kill him. Who would have had the courage to able to stop? Our Lord, Jesus Christ, who is always deeply compassionate for the sick, stops. And what happens when he stops is what I want to share with you this morning, this afternoon, or this evening. As a human being, we always try to understand the meaning and purpose of what happens to us. As a Christian, we also want to understand why God acts in things that are important to us. But we know that it is not easy to find an answer to those questions. In spite of our limitation to have an answer to our questions about God's will, it is still important to ask questions because our questions about God's will can lead us to expand our vision of God and to realize the presence of God in our lives. Today's story, a story about the man who was born blind, is full of the people who ask questions. First, the disciples asked a question about who are responsible for the blindness of the man, based on their Jewish tradition, such that his blindness is considered a result of someone's sin. Second, his neighbors want to know how he is healed. Third, Pharisees focus on Jesus breaking the Sabbath law while being suspicious about the truth about the man's blind condition from his birth. We discover that none of those questions concern the well-being of the man who was once blind. None of them celebrate his gift of sight. The disciples, neighbors of the blind man, and the Pharisees only ask in the range of what their expectations and knowledge would allow. It is only Jesus who asks a question about the well-being of the blind man. It is only Jesus who deeply cares about him. Only Jesus has a deep compassion for the man. This is true for all of us. All of the focus that Jesus, our Lord, has is us, ourselves, our soul, our mind, and our body. God's eyes are always focusing toward us, even when we feel emotionally and socially isolated in these days as we practice social distancing. This depth of Jesus' compassion gives the man a new life, a different life. It is not just because he had his sight, but also because he recognized that Jesus is the one who gives him the light, and that Jesus himself is the light of the world. This gift of the light from Jesus allows him to see everything differently. Most of all, he might have seen everything through the eyes of Jesus, the eyes of the compassion. I believe that all of us who are worshiping where we are experience God's light in Jesus Christ. Then we have to see things with different eyes. We have to see the diverse ways of God's presence in our daily lives and in the world. We have to respond to this time of fear and uncertainty differently. We have to respond to our current situation with faith, compassion, and courage, not with fear. Because the gift of God's light in Jesus Christ has been given us. I would like to share Frederick Street's reflection on today's passage. According to him, when a light is turned on in a room, it enhances our ability to see what is there. But it does not change the character of what's in the room. However, God's light, as given through the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, reveals not only what is present, but also offers the possibility of change. A change from despair to hope, from withering to renewal, from death and redemptive life. This is why the Gospel of John declares God is the light. In him there is no darkness at all. Jesus, our Lord, dispels all the darkness by bringing the light, recovering from our spiritual blindness and changing ourselves and our lives. But as Frederick points out, what is important is that we cannot appreciate the light until we recognize the darkness. For some, the darkness is experienced through the loss of the loved one. Some might experience the darkness when diagnosed with the illness or disease. Sometimes the darkness comes when we experience hopelessness or failure. The darkness also experienced when we lose our way. Yes, these are all the cases of the darkness where we can experience light, comfort, healing, and hope that Jesus provides. Jesus, whom we call our Lord, is the light that guides us, help us to see ourselves, others, and the world in the way he showed us in his life, death, and resurrection. That is compassion, courage, faith, grace, peace, and hope. It is only when we trust in Jesus and see God's light in Jesus Christ that we are awakened and healed from spiritual blindness, and that we see, hear, and live differently. This day, many people might feel that the light in their lives has gone because of the fear, anxiety, and hatred that they endured in this time of uncertainty. We find that so many people need a spirit of hope, peace, and love. It is to them and the condition of their fear, anxiety, and hatred that we must bring the light of Christ. We must trust in our Lord Jesus Christ, the source of the peace, hope, and courage, and life, and carry with us God's light in Jesus Christ, God's gift of hope and peace. I would like to conclude today's sermon by reading the beautiful poem, Psalm chapter 23, which is another lectionary reading for today. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anointed my head with the oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Brothers and sisters, it is my hope that each morning and night, when we start our day and end our day, all of us pray with this beautiful song. Each morning and each night, may each one of us remember that God's light in Jesus Christ, the light of Christ always shines before us, guiding us and helping us to navigate through this darkness. Amen. It is a difficult time for the church, the life of the church, and the life of community. As most of the churches across the nation cancel their in-person worship service, the issue of church finances might be the biggest challenge. It is not exceptional for our church, so your giving is really important. I encourage all of you to support the ministry and mission of our church through your financial contribution that you have promised to make to yourself and to God. So I encourage you to mail your offering to the church. Please know that without your generosity, we cannot continue our ministry together. Please join me in prayer of dedication. God Almighty, we take these gifts and present them with love. We rejoice in our ability to share and long to do more. May we not be satisfied with what is enough, but instead be inspired to do more. May these gifts be used so others may know the hope that is found in you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Just a quick word of announcement. We are grateful for God's presence with us today, no matter where we are and how we worship God. So, as Marge already mentioned, I strongly encourage all of you to create a holy space in your house. Just set up any table with the candles, cross, or anything that reminds you of God's love and grace, and prepare your own Bible and hymnal. Also, the church conference is scheduled for the March 28th, 10 a.m. Of course, we will meet via Zoom, Z-O-O-M. Let us pray. May the presence of God, the Creator, give you strength. May the presence of God, the light, give you peace. May the presence of God, the sustainer, give you comfort. Amen.